Did you know that Mr. Stockham and Walk 'em Down, Pennywise himself, was actually in Stranger Things? And it all has to do with Bob Newby, but it might not be in the way that you think. But either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it, cause you'll float. So in season 2 of Stranger Things, we're introduced to the hero himself, Bob Newby, played by 80s icon Sean Astin. Samwise Gamgee, put Rudy in if you want to win. But there's actually a lot of very interesting things about his backstory that connects him to Pennywise. The biggest one is this conversation that he has with Will on how he overcame his nightmares. Roll the tape.
Did I ever tell you about Mr. Baldo? I was a little younger than you, standing in line for the Ferris wheel at the Roane County Fair. Suddenly, I feel this fat white glove tap me on the shoulder. I spin around, and there he is, Mr. Baldo. Hey, kiddo, would you like a balloon? I couldn't get him out of my head. Every night, he'd come to me in my dreams. And every night when he came to me, I ran. Went on like that for months. And then one day, the nightmare suddenly stopped. Want to know how? Well, I fell asleep. And just like always, Mr. Baldo came to me. Only this time, I didn't run. This time, I stood my ground. I just looked at Mr. Baldo and his stupid face, and I said, "Go away! Go away!" Just like that, he was gone. Never saw him again.
You're telling me Bob Newby was scared of a bald clown who was offering him a balloon that haunted his dreams? I've always wondered how you taste. That sounds almost exactly like Pennywise, whose patented signature is a red balloon with tactics that would only be revealed in an Epstein file list, chasing after kids and killing them in their dreams. Yeah, that sounds a whole lot like Pennywise to me. But we'll go ahead and take it a step further, because where are your parents from, Bob Newby?
Well, my parents are selling their house in Maine.
Coincidence? I think not. Now, the interesting thing is we don't know if Bob Newby ever grew up in Maine at any point in time of his life, because I'm pretty sure in The Last Shadow, the stage play for Stranger Things, it's revealed that Bob Newby grew up in Hawkins. But don't forget what happens to people that leave Derry after they've experienced Pennywise. Their memory starts to get a little fuzzy and start forgetting things or remembering things differently. Is that why he remembers him as
Baldo?
And doesn't remember growing up in Maine? I'm just saying. And what's even crazier is the way that Bob Newby ends up getting his breathing rights revoked. Does anyone out there in the crowd have an answer for how Bob Newby died? He got eaten alive by like 70 fucking teeth. That's just nasty work. Duffer Brothers, y'all ain't slick. But Bob Newby was a hero and died a hero. We just couldn't see it yet, and he deserves a goddamn salute. Now, this one right here might be a reach, but there's also the fun little fact that Bob Newby's phone at Radio Shack is all red, similar to Pennywise's all red balloons. But more than likely, I don't think Stranger Things and Pennywise and the entire Stephen King universe take place in that Stephen King's universe. I'm pretty sure it's just more of a fun nod, given the fact that Stranger Things has many 80s influences, including the font of the show itself is heavily inspired by Stephen King, along with a bunch of Stephen King novels, obviously It. But I'll actually take it a step further to a little known fact that a lot of people don't know. The Duffer Brothers actually pitched the idea of the It remake to Warner Brothers. They were ultimately shot down because they weren't well-known filmmakers at the time, and the job ultimately ended up going to Andy Muschietti. I'd say it worked out well for both parties, though. Could you imagine? We probably don't have Stranger Things if they take on the It movies. The more you know.